The carefully arranged engagement banquet was used by Daniel for his savior's birthday party. I was isolated in the corner, watching everyone sending blessings to Luna. I don't know who pushed me and my forehead hit the corner of the table and bled. Daniel immediately covered Luna's eyes and said to me, "You did it on purpose, don't you know Luna is afraid of blood? Do you have to make trouble at the happiest time?" Luna grabbed Daniel's hand and said generously, "Then punish Sister Sophia by smearing cream on her." I, who am allergic to cream, was smeared all over my body. Daniel was only afraid that the woman in his arms would see the blood on my face and didn't stop it even though he knew I was allergic to cream. Extremely disappointed, I called my mother and said, "I'm quite satisfied with the blind date you introduced last time. Let's choose an auspicious day to get engaged." As soon as Luna finished speaking, a group of people smeared cream on my wound and face. In less than a second, my skin began to feel hot and itchy. I shouted, "Don't smear it, I'm allergic to cream." Woo-woo. Before my eyes were smeared with cream, I looked at Daniel for help. He knew I was allergic to cream. But he just glanced at me and then turned his eyes to Luna, covering her eyes as if he was afraid that the person in front of him would see my blood. A lump of cream was stuffed into my mouth. At this moment, my heart panicked. I wiped the cream off my eyelashes with my sleeve and spat out the cream in my mouth. I pushed through the crowd and rushed to the bathroom to wash the cream off my skin and rinse my mouth. Hearing the voices at the door, I didn't want anyone to see my ugly appearance at the moment. So I hid in the toilet cubicle. Luna and Daniel are just made for each other. Did you see that? That diamond ring is as big as a pigeon's egg. If a man gave me such an expensive gift, I would be extremely happy. Yes, it's really a pity. There's a fly in the ointment. The one who was just smeared with cream is said to be a gold digger. If Daniel hadn't informed the hotel to redecorate in advance, Luna's birthday party would have been ruined by her and turned into her and Daniel's engagement party. Daniel is really so doting. Listening to this conversation, I pulled the corners of my mouth self-deprecatingly. So did he agree with what others said about me outside? The phone in my pocket vibrated and I saw Luna's latest post. It was a picture of a diamond ring. "Having you is enough." Daniel was the first to like it. Seeing these, my body slowly lost all its strength. My heart ached. This wasn't the first time Daniel had embarrassed me in public for Luna. When I was a child, I saved Daniel who was drowning and he swore to me, "You saved my life. From today on, I will work hard to make money. When I become a big boss, I will definitely marry you and make you my beautiful wife and protect you. I won't let you suffer any grievances." Later, he really took good care of me and never let me suffer any grievances. However, since he was rescued by Luna in a car accident, everything has changed. The person he wants to protect in his eyes has already become someone else. When I came out, I saw my customized cake lying in the blue trash can at the door. The two little people on it had melted and covered the words, "Sophia loves Daniel." It turned out that the cake hadn't had time to reach my hands before it was thrown into the trash can, just like my love. It's worthless. The staff saw that I had a rash all over my body and my mouth was swollen like a sausage and was afraid that something would happen. So they asked someone to drive me to the emergency room. In the middle of the night, I returned home. Daniel was sitting on the sofa. When he saw me come back, he frowned and said, "It's okay that you ran around without telling me today, but you came back so late. Do you still care about this family? You made me worry about you and I waited for 3 hours. You're a woman who can't do anything. If I'm not here, can you live to old age?" He said it so plausibly. Except for the message he sent me this morning asking me not to be absent, I haven't received a single phone call or text message until now. "What kind of worry is this?" I calmly said, "I just saw you and Luna enter the community side by side." Seeing that I had punctured his lie, Daniel said a little defensively, "Sophia, how many times have I told you that I have nothing to do with Luna? She's just my savior and I'm repaying her kindness. Can you stop making trouble?" Then he said in a more emphatic tone, "Don't follow me next time." I had just had an injection and was a little tired. I weakly spat out a word. "Oh, what kind of tone and attitude is this?" Daniel didn't seem to like my answer just now. Because he was used to me acting like a shrew before and questioning him about his relationship with Luna and asking him to make it clear. Seeing that I didn't speak and was different from usual, his eyes swept over the skin exposed outside of me. He was stunned for a moment and said, "Are you allergic?" "Yes." A hint of struggle flashed in his eyes and he said, "So careless. I'll get the medicine for you to apply." At this time, his phone rang. His tone became nervous and he said, "Don't be afraid. Find a high place to sit on. I'll be there soon." Daniel took the phone and didn't even look at me and went out the door. I sighed and searched for the medicine box all over the house by myself. In the past, as long as I was injured, Daniel would deal with it for me at the first time and I didn't need to do it myself. He also took care of everything at home, including washing clothes, cooking, and doing housework. Now the table is covered with dust and no one cleans it. The kitchen hasn't been used for a long time either. I also want to know if I can live to old age without him by my side. I didn't find the medicine box but found some old things. The love letters that Daniel and I wrote to each other in high school. I opened them one by one and read the contents. The memories of the past flooded into my heart. I cried and laughed while reading and sometimes said, "Idiot. So childish." That time was the happiest and most blissful time in my life. Now my heart is cold and I can't go back. When I saw the bottom, a photo fell out. It was a photo of Daniel and me. I had a cast on my ankle and Daniel was carrying me on his back. I was smiling proudly and he was also grinning from ear to ear. In a trance, my thoughts returned to the past with the photo. I remember that at that time, we were in class when an earthquake hit the school. We all rushed downstairs to escape. I was pushed to the ground and got my ankle stepped on and fractured. Fortunately, the earthquake only lasted for more than 10 seconds. The school buildings were quake resistant and didn't collapse. Everyone was rushing out, but only Daniel found me despite the teacher's obstruction. He held me in his arms, his body and voice trembling. "I don't even know what a gray life I would have if I lost you." At that moment, I was so touched that I decided to be with him for the rest of my life. However, the beliefs I once had are now falling apart. After seeing all these, I still had a good cry, but I felt much more relieved. I wasn't as uncomfortable as before. Instead, I made a certain determination. I threw the things into a plastic bag. When I took out my phone, it was already 5 o'clock in the morning. A post from Luna last night popped up at the top of my screen. "Thank you, Big Boss, for driving away the cockroach for me and taking care of my fragile heart. You're like a human-shaped heater giving me a sense of security." The picture was a selfie of Luna sleeping in a man's arms. At a glance, I could tell that the man holding her was Daniel. The phone vibrated again, and Luna posted another message. "I'm so hungry. I was exhausted last night." I kicked the big boss awake and asked him to buy me breakfast. After reading this, I turned off my phone and then Daniel sent me a message. "I worked overtime too long last night. I'm so hungry, honey. Can you go to Chinji and get set meal 2 for me? Put it at the security guard later. I'll pick it up after I'm done." Huh? I was almost laughed out of anger when I saw this message. Men's lies are getting more and more without any logic. I directly opened the errand running app and placed an order, asking someone to queue up and buy set meal 2 and send it to room 1088. Room 1088 was in the building next door, the house that Daniel rented for Luna. Thinking I was still angry, I added more money to the errand runner and asked him to help me complete a task when he delivered it. I called my mom and said, "I'm quite satisfied with the blind date you introduced last time. Let's choose an auspicious day to get engaged." Mom said happily, "Darling, you're not kidding me, are you?" I said, "I'm not kidding you. I'm 30 years old. I don't want to wait anymore. I want to find a good man and get married soon." Yes, I had waited for Daniel for more than 10 years, waiting for that promise he made when he was a child that he would marry me when he made a fortune. But now I don't want to wait anymore. Mom saw that I was determined and said, "Then finish your work there quickly and come back to City A. Mom will arrange everything properly for you." After hanging up the phone, I found the chat pages of my relatives and friends. The chat interface was still on the page where they asked me yesterday why the engagement banquet was cancelled. I typed a line and sent it. "The engagement banquet has been rescheduled. I'll tell you the specific time when it's confirmed." I was packing my things at home. When I went downstairs to throw out the trash, Daniel, pulling a red-eyed Luna, shouted at me, "Sophia, what did Luna do to offend you? Why are you humiliating her like this? Apologize to her." I lifted my eyelids, glanced at their hands clasped together, and laughed. Daniel, seeing me staring at their hands, let go of Luna's hand. Luna was stunned for a second, then she didn't give up and stepped forward to hold Daniel's arm. She wiped her tears with one hand and said, "Brother Daniel, don't blame Sister Sophia. It's all my fault. I was so scared that I asked you to stay with me for the night. It's normal for Sister Sophia to be jealous. If anyone should apologize, it should be me." She was so insincere that I couldn't help rolling my eyes. Luna started crying even more sadly. I hadn't done anything, yet Daniel slapped me. Daniel said with anger in his tone, "Sophia, Luna is just a little girl. Why are you being so mean to her? What age are you? Do you even deserve to be jealous? You scared her. Apologize." I covered my stinging cheek and looked at him in shock. This was the first time Daniel had hit me. He probably realized he was too excited. His raised hand froze in midair, but then he forced it down. I noticed this detail. I looked at him coldly and said, "I'm not wrong. What should I apologize for?" Daniel said, "Why did you ask the errand runner to say that Luna is the mistress just now? I never knew you were so jealous. It seems I've spoiled you too much. From today on, you're not allowed to use my card anymore. Stay at home and think about what you've done wrong." I laughed self-mockingly and said with disdain in my eyes, "If she's not the mistress, then am I? You were holding her and sleeping last night. What's wrong with me venting a little?" Luna pretended to explain, "Don't misunderstand. We didn't do anything. I'm just too scared of cockroaches. Besides, it's not certain who the mistress is. You keep pestering Brother Daniel and won't let go. Have you ever thought about his feelings? Your suffocating love will make Brother Daniel embarrassed. You don't have a proper job, you have a bad temper, and you make Brother Daniel do everything. You're just after Brother Daniel's money. Unlike me, I only care about Brother Daniel himself." Luna's eyes were full of love for Daniel, and Daniel didn't refute her words. He seemed to agree with what Luna said. "Just like those people outside, no matter how shameless they said I was," he agreed. I took a deep breath, clenched the corner of my clothes, and asked Daniel, "Do you think what she said is true?" Daniel didn't hesitate at all and said without thinking, "Isn't it? You have a bad temper and can't do anything. The money is earned by me to support you. You're comfortably relying on me. What else are you not satisfied with?" I wasn't angry. Instead, I smiled brightly and said, "Yes, you're right. That's me. So, I won't apologize for what you just asked me to do. Never." After saying that, regardless of the furious Daniel, I turned around and left. My luggage had already been placed at the security booth, and my plane ticket was also booked. 3 days later, my engagement banquet started, but Daniel called to question me. "You even ran away from home? If you have the guts, don't come back for the rest of your life." Why would I go back to a home without love? After I came back, I was so busy every day that I quickly forgot about Daniel's question. After getting engaged to Oliver, Mom arranged a travel plan for us. She said it was to help us build our relationship. It wasn't as awkward as I thought. Instead, I was taken care of in every way. I just needed to show up. Oliver was also very gentlemanly and wouldn't do anything I didn't like. Then Oliver's voice came, "Sophia, phone call." I was taking a shower with my hands all wet, so I said, "Then help me answer it and say I'm not available." When I came out with a towel, Oliver was waiting with a hair dryer in his hand. "What are you standing there for? Come here, I'll dry your hair for you." The man's deep and pleasant voice hit my eardrum, and I blinked my eyes. Okay. My hair was dried bit by bit, and I said a little embarrassedly, "Who called just now?" "Just a spam call." So I didn't ask any more questions. Oliver was my neighbor when we were kids, but he went abroad in the 6th grade. When we were young, I often chased after him to ask for lollipops. I never thought that after seeing each other again after so many years, I became his fiancée. After getting cleaned and dried, we went back to our respective rooms to sleep. Oliver said, "It's not too late to sleep together after we get married." This relieved my unease. The next day, he took me to visit various scenic spots. The two of us seemed to be back to the way we were when we were kids, having endless things to talk about. I was being playful and he accompanied me. The previous unpleasant memories were suddenly completely forgotten by me. During the trip, I was attracted by a ceramic making store in the small town. I said, "I want to learn how to make ceramics. I want to make a lot of princess-style furniture." Oliver then took me to find an old master. While I was learning, he stood beside me and helped out. I wanted to make money with my craftsmanship. After practicing for a month, the master told me that I could graduate. Just as I was happy, Oliver told me, "I opened an online store for you on the internet. Now let's upload your finished products to the store." Less than an hour after they were put on the shelves, several items were ordered. This made me extremely happy. This is my first order. I must make it well. I realized that I was holding Oliver's hand. He looked at me with a warm sun-like smile, and I subconsciously loosened my grip. He tightened his hold on my fingers instead and gently scratched the tip of my nose, saying, "This is a good start. I'll help you do it together." I had been to many high-end places before, had a discerning eye for things, and had my own design concepts. I drew sketches at night, made several pieces according to the designs, and Oliver helped me take pictures and put them on the shelves. During my free time, while I was looking at my phone, Luna's account popped up again. I originally didn't want to click in, but I found out that she could actually work in Daniel's company. When I clicked in, she was sitting next to Daniel's office. She could see Daniel just by turning her head. The big boss was afraid I'd be lonely at home, so he found me a job. Scrolling down a few posts, they were all about showing affection. This reminded me that back then, I managed to land a secretary job in a Fortune Global 500 company with great difficulty. After Daniel started his company, he pestered me to resign and be his secretary. "Help me stabilize the company smoothly, and then we can move our wedding date forward. Please help me." Despite the dissuasion of my former colleagues, I resigned from my stable job to help Daniel attract investments and boost performance. That's when my gastritis was caused by frequent socializing and drinking. At that time, I got acute gastritis from drinking, and he was running around in a hurry. He grabbed my hand and said, "Sophia, from now on, I'll support you at home." It was he who felt sorry for me and couldn't bear to see me get hurt, so he persuaded me to resign. But later, he said that I was a woman who couldn't do anything. I promoted my designed works on a grass planting platform, and unexpectedly, they gradually became very popular. Since I couldn't handle it alone, I rented a studio and hired several skilled workers. After going on a trip, I actually became a small boss. The studio was operating normally and didn't need my on-site supervision. Oliver and I returned to Haicheng to celebrate my mom's birthday. As soon as we got back, a friend invited me out. "Sophia, Daniel has come to City A to look for you many times. They all said you went traveling with your fiancé, and he went crazy. Have you two really broken up completely?" I looked puzzled. What kind of crazy can he go? He has his new love, and I have my good match. Who knows what's wrong with him? It was so baffling. Suddenly, I was roughly picked up, and coffee was spilled all over me. "Sophia, there should be a limit to your making trouble. Running away from home is one thing, but getting engaged to another man? What do you take me for?" I took a look. It was Daniel. I hadn't seen him for a while, and he had grown a beard. For someone as clean-loving as him, it was quite strange that he didn't clean himself up. The coffee sticking to my body made me uncomfortable, and I said in a bad mood, "My ex-boyfriend." Daniel said angrily, "When did I tell you we broke up? You baffling bullied Luna and then went missing. Do you know how hard I've been looking for you? Just because our engagement banquet was cancelled, you've been throwing a tantrum until now? I've told you so many times that it was Luna's birthday that day. We should have held her party first. We can hold our engagement ceremony anytime. Come back with me. If you do, I won't hold it against you for what happened to Luna. As long as you swear not to cause trouble for Luna in the future, I'll set a new date and give you a proper engagement banquet." He couldn't say 3 sentences without mentioning Luna. It was so annoying that it made my ears hurt. I slapped him on the mouth and said with some disgust, "If you want to act like a jerk, don't do it in front of me. Daniel, I'm officially telling you today that we've broken up. What does it matter to me whether your Luna is wronged or not? Also, back then, you canceled the arrangements with our relatives and friends without notifying me. Weren't you indirectly not recognizing our marriage?" My mom had shown me the text message Daniel sent her at that time. "Sophia thinks the date is not good, plans to choose another one. The engagement date is canceled for now, and the hotel is also refunded." Since my mom thought it was my idea, she didn't ask me any more, and neither did others. They just asked about the new date. Clearly, it was his fault, but he had to pin it on me. Daniel instead looked at me with red eyes and said, "Sophia, he's not good. Is there any other man in the world who treats you as well as I do? I also found out that you opened an online ceramics store. Without me, you're forced to make money. You're just a means for him to make money. Don't you understand?" I really had no intention of listening to him and struggled to break free from his restraint. But Daniel seemed determined and pulled me out, saying, "I must take you away today. I can't let you be deceived. Are you crazy? Let me go." My friend tried to help and was pushed to the ground by Daniel. I looked at my friend worriedly. I felt someone running over. The next second, Daniel was pulled aside and was punched to the ground unexpectedly. Oliver quickly pulled me to him, put his hands on my shoulders, and checked me up and down. His face was full of worry. "Are you okay?" Oliver said he was going to work today. Looking at him in a suit and leather shoes, I was stunned for a moment and got lost in thought. When I realized I was being infatuated, my face turned bright red immediately. I whispered, "I'm fine. Why did you come here? Won't the boss deduct your salary?" Oliver was amused. "Even if he does, I'm willing. I was working nearby. When I saw you being bullied, nothing is more important than you." I pursed my lips to hold back a smile. He pulled me behind him and looked at Daniel with cold eyes. "What kind of nobody dares to touch my wife? I don't care what relationship you had with Sophia before, but you'd better disappear from my sight right now, or don't blame me for being rough." Daniel stood up to fight Oliver but was knocked down again in a few moves. "Sophia, how can you bear to watch me being beaten?" Daniel shouted at me as he couldn't struggle. Oliver looked at me with a pitiful expression. I raised the corners of my mouth and said to him, "Well done." Seeing the man happy because of my praise, my mood suddenly improved. Daniel's face turned green when he saw the way I looked at Oliver. Later, Daniel was called away by a phone call. It seemed that something serious had happened in the company. At this time, I noticed a group of men in black standing outside the door. Then I realized that Oliver was actually the CEO of a large group. Someone said pitifully, "You just found out? I gave you that black card with unlimited credit. Now you know. Don't feel bad about spending money in the future. I'm rich." Thinking that during the previous period, he who was so busy condescended to mold clay with me, helped me with the store, and accompanied me shopping. My originally quiet heart bloomed at this moment and countless pink bubbles surrounded me. On the night of my mom's birthday, she held my hand and talked about the past. Mom said, "At first, I didn't oppose you being with Daniel. But after all these years, he's been dragging you until you're 30 without firmly deciding to marry you. I thought he wasn't reliable. I saw that after Oliver returned to the country, he kept asking me about you. When he knew you had a boyfriend, he silently paid attention to you for many years. He didn't have a female companion by his side all these years. I was afraid you'd miss out on a real man, so I arranged a blind date for you. After that, we lived together with a tacit understanding. He took me to meet his parents. The employees in the company would call me boss's wife when they saw me. Life went on like this peacefully. On my birthday, Oliver carefully selected a high-end custom-made dress for me, rented out an entire amusement park, and set off fireworks. The words, "Happy Birthday Sophia," were displayed on a high building, with the signature Oliver at the end. When his name appeared, it caused a stir on the internet. "My God, the iron tree has blossomed," he announced his fiancée directly. "So happy. I'm so envious." That day, my family and friends were by my side, blessing me. No one played pranks with cream. It was the happiest moment for me. Oliver gave me $1 million crown and put it on my head. "Today you're the princess. Hurry up and make a wish." The flower-decorated environment was magnificent. It seemed that I was really a princess living on a flower island. When I opened my eyes after making a wish, brilliant fireworks bloomed in front of me. It reminded me of my childhood dream, to be a romantic little princess. My dream came true tonight. Oliver and I interlocked our fingers, and he lowered his head and gently kissed my forehead. When I opened my eyes, I noticed a man in the corner. He was looking at us in a down-and-out manner. Our eyes met. Daniel got out of the car and came straight towards me, holding flowers in his hands. I withdrew my gaze and didn't pay him much attention. He talked to himself. "Sophia, during the days when you were away, I found that my life had turned gray and lost its luster. I know you've always minded my relationship with Luna. I've sent her away. Can you come back?" I can't live without you. When I found out that you burned the love letters that belonged to us, my heart seemed to be missing a piece. Sophia, happy birthday. This cake was made by myself. There's no cream. He said a lot more later, and I replied with just one word as if perfunctorily. Oh. Daniel was suddenly speechless. I hugged Oliver's arm and thanked Daniel. I'm glad you could come to my birthday party by yourself. There are self-service desserts over there and the cream-free cake that Oliver ordered for me. There are so many friends here that I can't entertain everyone one by one. Please forgive me. After saying that, I ignored Daniel and was about to leave, lifting my skirt. But my wrist was grabbed by the man. Sophia, stop right there. Didn't you always want to marry me? As long as you come back with me today, we'll go get the marriage certificate immediately. We'll announce it to the world and give you a grand wedding. Didn't you prepare for our wedding for a long time before? Weren't you afraid that you'd be too fat to fit into the wedding dress? I don't believe that you loved me for so many years and would suddenly be with a strange man. I've begged you like this. What on earth do you want? Oliver let go of Daniel's hand from mine and said with an imposing and oppressive tone, please behave yourself. Your girlfriend is waiting for you not far away. How shameless of you to come and snatch my fiancé. Is this how a company boss behaves? Not far away, Luna was standing under a tree with red eyes. I looked at Daniel speechlessly. Daniel, don't think too highly of yourself. Yes, Sophia, liked you back then. But my love for you gradually disappeared because of you and finally there was nothing left. Daniel, I don't love you anymore. A hint of pain flashed in Daniel's eyes. No, I don't believe it. Today is my birthday. I didn't want things to end in a mess, but unexpectedly, Luna ran over and knelt down in front of me. Sister Sophia, it's all my fault. Don't be angry with Brother Daniel. He really loves you. I can step aside. Please don't make him so sad anymore. This kind of green tea act reminded me of the time when I was smeared with cream at her birthday party. I said unhappily, there's really no need for this. Stop this green tea behavior. I advise you to get out of here. If you push me too far, I can't guarantee what I'll do. I had already watched the fireworks and wanted to leave a good memory of this night, so I didn't want to argue too much. But Luna didn't care. When I turned to leave, she rushed over sobbingly and hugged my ankle. If it weren't for Oliver holding me up, I might have fallen. The man beside me said in a deep voice, you should be glad you're a woman, or I would have thrown you out long ago. Oliver's tone was visibly angry. I squeezed his palm and kicked Luna away. Daniel anxiously helped Luna up and then started questioning again. Sophia, this has nothing to do with Luna. If you have any complaints, come at me. Why are you bullying her? Brother Daniel, I'm fine. As long as you can get back together with Sister Sophia, I'm okay with anything. Finally, my relatives and friends couldn't stand it anymore. They all knew how much grievance I had suffered by Daniel's side. They went up bravely, pulled Luna away, and slapped her in the face several times. You shameless mistress. How dare you come here to cause trouble? Do you think you're safe just because Daniel is protecting you? Daniel shielded Luna. When he turned to look at me and was about to say something, he saw a smile on my lips, but my eyes were full of indifference. His words got stuck in his throat. It turned into, Sophia, I'm sorry, I said, there's no need to say sorry to me. Please keep an eye on her in the future. Don't come and act in front of me all the time. I don't like watching plays. Escorted by Oliver, I got into the car. Daniel chased after us. Sophia, I didn't come here to argue with you today. Please give me a chance, okay? The car drove for a while, and Daniel, who was chasing behind, got farther and farther away, until the figure in the rearview mirror became a small dot. There was a time when my heart no longer beat for Daniel. The once beautiful memories gradually disappeared from my memory because of the appearance of another person. After that day, stories about Luna began to spread on the internet. The video of her kneeling at my birthday party was posted online. Some netizens dug out her dark history. My God, if I remember correctly, this woman came out of a debutante class. She deliberately hit the cars of those rich people and then pretended to be pitiful. Don't ask me how I know. Because I was scammed once and several of my friends also encountered it. The video of Luna saving Daniel at that time also spread. At that time, Daniel's car was startled by a suddenly appeared big dog. In order to avoid it, he turned the steering wheel and hit the big tree root. After the car accident, Luna appeared and that dog wagged its tail and followed Luna. Someone also dug out the early photos of Luna and the big dog. After Daniel learned about this, he asked someone to investigate and it turned out to be a plan. He flew into a rage, kicked Luna out, and called the police to report her for fraud. Involving a large amount of money, Luna was sent to prison. When I saw this news, I swiped it away without pausing much. Daniel sent me a lot of apology messages and there were many missed calls. When I blocked him, he used other cards to call, but Daniel's mother could still call me. Sophia, Auntie knows I'm not qualified to make this call to you, but now, Daniel, he hasn't eaten or drunk for several days. He's been cleaning the house you lived in before in the room. Just now, he fainted at home and hit his head on the corner of the table. Now he's in the hospital. Auntie is begging you, can you go and see him? I directly refused. Auntie, there's no possibility between Daniel and me anymore. And I'm going to get married, so I'd better not go. Sigh, Auntie knows you've been wrong. It's Daniel who doesn't have the luck. Auntie didn't say much and hung up the phone with a sigh. Originally, there were some problems in Daniel's company, and now he's fallen ill. The company stopped operating for a long time, the salaries of internal employees were reduced again and again, and many people submitted their resignations. On the day of my wedding, Daniel threatened me. Sophia, if you marry Oliver, I'll jump off the building. I hung up the phone without any ripples in my heart and turned off my phone. Oliver knew that Daniel had threatened me. He increased the security around me to prevent anyone from causing trouble. On that day, my old friends and relatives successfully witnessed my wedding. I was the most eye-catching bride throughout the whole process. When Oliver put the ring on me, a distant memory hit me. It was a summer. Under the osmanthus tree, a little girl with 2 braids was chasing a big boy asking for lollipops. Brother Oliver, give me a lollipop. When I grow up, I'll be your bride. After hearing what this little follower said, the boy blushed and stopped running. He peeled off the lollipop wrapper and put it into my mouth. He also said seriously, silly girl, don't say such things to other boys casually in the future. Be careful of being taken away. This video was shown to me by Oliver's mother when she found the old camera. So, Oliver had been waiting for me all this time. In the spotlight, I stood on tiptoe and gently kissed Oliver's lips. His big hand protected my waist, and in the cheers, he deepened the kiss. Half a year later, I was sitting in a rocking chair, basking in the sun with a big belly. As autumn arrived, I was knitting a scarf and humming a song. Suddenly, the dog started barking wildly at the door. I looked in the direction of the sound. Daniel was standing at the door, which really startled me. His eyes were flustered. He raised his hands in front of his chest. Sophia, I didn't mean to scare you. I just wanted to take a look at you. He noticed my slightly bulging belly and said with a pale face, you're pregnant? I stroked my chest and said angrily, yes. I'm really begging you. Don't peek into my life anymore. I have my own life, and you have yours. Can you leave me in peace? Daniel was now so thin that his windbreaker became loose and wide. It seemed that a gust of wind could blow him down. Now he was no longer high-spirited. His face was so thin that his cheeks were sunken, and he looked many years older. He was like a person who had done something wrong, saying, I haven't seen you for a long time. I just wanted to see you in the limited time left and remember your appearance clearly. I'm afraid I'll forget you. Belated affection is cheaper than grass. I'm starting to get a bit tired of his appearance. I waved my hand, tidied up the threads, and entered the house, closing the door to separate him from me. I don't know how long Daniel stood outside. When Oliver came back, he said with a displeased look, the security guards these days are becoming more and more lax. They let in all sorts of people. I tried to soothe him, saying, don't be angry. Let's not bring this bad mood into the house. The man helped me to sit on the sofa, then put his ear against my belly and started playfully talking to the baby with a smile. Daniel's side story. When I realized that I had lost the woman I loved the most, it was already beyond redemption. I couldn't believe that Sophia could be so heartless as to abandon me. So I gambled with my body. I skipped 3 meals a day, kept drinking, and didn't sleep, immersing myself in the past. Once, whenever I felt a bit unwell, Sophia would rush around in a panic. She would always stay by my side. Eventually, I collapsed. The moment I was carried onto the ambulance by the doctors, I seemed to see Sophia running towards me. But a day after I woke up, the person I wanted to see didn't show up. I couldn't believe it, so I begged my mom to call Sophia and ask her to come and see me. Maybe she didn't know that I was ill. I listened to the whole conversation when mom called her. She said she was getting married and didn't want to see me. So I went to the rooftop and threatened her. I was willing to bet my life, thinking that Sophia would definitely give up marrying that man. She would surely stop me from jumping off the building in a hurry. Even if she tricked me into coming down, I would be willing. However, she didn't care anymore. I still didn't have the courage to jump. I thought that when Sophia got tired of it, she would come back to me. I searched for information about Sophia on the internet every day, but it was all deleted clean, as if she was determined to make me forget. I secretly hid in the distance, watching her walking hand in hand, going shopping, and many other signs of her life, peeking into Sophia's life. I found that the two of them were falling more and more in love. My heart ached terribly, with excruciating pain every night. The doctor told me that I had cancer and didn't have much time left. I was so tortured by cancer that I couldn't get out of bed. Life was worse than death, but relying on my willpower, I wanted to take one last look at her. The moment I saw her pregnant, my whole body went cold. There was disgust for me in her eyes. She really didn't have me in her heart anymore. It felt like all the strength in my body was drained. I leaned against the tree trunk, forcing myself not to fall. Until the man came back, Sophia didn't even come out to look at me. I knew that I really had no chance in this life.